Have you ever wanted to steal jewelry as a thief? A jewel thief? Well, I have. And there's only one game for me that really lets me carry out those fantasies. Except for this one, but we're not talking about that today. We're talking about the one and only.
It's Jewel Thief, developed by Paul Legeski and released under the banner of his company called Servantware in 1991. This is yet another of those games that I got from the disc included in Windows After Hours by W. Edward Tiley. It was also included on compilations like WayForward's Fun Pack and on various BBSs and online services, but this is where I got it, so naturally, it's the best and most awesome. Jewel Thief is a game especially suitable for the preschool yuppies in your life. If you're older than 10, you're probably going to look at this game one time and one time only. Says you, Mr. Tiley. I'm 26 and I've looked at this game at least twice in the past 16 years. The game begins with a double click and a registration nag screen. It's the only restriction in the game, but if you wanted to, you could pay $10 to remove this infinitesimal nuisance and get the full version. I never did because $10 may as well have been $100,000 back in the day, and besides, I was saving up to buy Sierra's Earthsiege at the time, so my apologies, Mr. Legeski. But anyway, Jewel Thief begins immediately once you click the button to start. The gameplay consists of moving the mouse. Yep. Believe it or not, there is a story here, and it's about as appropriately basic as it gets. The generically named National Museum of your unnamed country has had its jewel collection stolen. And because you're already dressed for the job or something, it's your task to travel the world to steal back the jewels from the thieves. So really the game should be called something like Jewel Repo Man rather than Jewel Thief, since you're not the thief. You're just taking things back, unless it's named for the thieves, and in that case it should be called Jewel Thieves, unless maybe they're all clones of one thief, and in that case, it brings to mind all sorts of questions regarding clones' individuality in the very case of the human soul, but whatever, Jewel Thief! You're a mouse cursor shaped like a thief, and you have to collect all the gems and minerals on screen without touching anything else. Yes, not even the edges of the screen, as that will remove one of your 9 possibly feline lives. Once your lives are gone, you're tarred, feathered, skinned alive, and then burned at the stake. That's Medieval Thief. In Jewel Thief, you just get a Windows ding sound effect, and you get to put in a high score if you didn't suck. And man, I suck at this game. I mean, everyone does, and that's kind of the point. See, the gameplay may be simpler than a pile of jalapeno poppers, but it's brutal in a very unfair way. Anytime you touch anything, you lose a life, but the thing is there is no invincibility time afterward whatsoever, so as long as you're touching something, you're losing lives constantly. You can have 9 lives and then be down to 1 life with even a single mistake on the first level, and sometimes you just get bad luck and the next level begins with enemies floating over your thief cursor and you've lost a life or 5 without even realizing what happened. It gets even worse if you play the game on anything but 256 color mode too, since your cursor will sometimes disappear and the floating enemies will flicker and blend into the background. So be sure to use the correct display settings. As you might expect, the game just gets harder and harder as it goes along, as games tend to do, and there are very few chances for reprieve along the way. Those freaking spider and raindrop levels, man. But hey, you might do better next time, so why not try again? And again, and again, and freaking again, because dude, this game is deceptively simple and kind of addictive in the best way. You just move a freaking mouse, and yeah, you really shouldn't be giving it more than a passing glance, but I have, and I still do every so often when I boot up an old Windows machine and want to kill a minute or few. And it takes me back to a far simpler time during my childhood where games like this could genuinely hold my attention for longer than a few offhand minutes. Jewel Thief is almost literally as simple as a game can get, but there's something beautiful about that. When you can boil something down to its barest essential parts of what its essence even is, and yet it's still blindingly recognizable as that thing, there's something special there that's worth recognition. Like how much of a car can you take away before it's not a car? How much of a game can you take away before it's not a game? This has a singular function, move the mouse, and yet it's still very clearly a computer game. You're not going to mistake it for anything else. Okay, maybe I'm getting a bit philosophical over a game where you're a funny-shaped mouse cursor, but whatever. I liked Jewel Thief as a kid, and dang it, I still do, so that's that. Want more videos on old games that nobody remembers? Cool, I want you to watch more videos on old games that nobody remembers by me, so click these. Or subscribe for more in the future. And as always, thanks for watching.